manly, sweaty, homoerotic soap opera for preteens and old men with paunch bellies.
Hi, and welcome to Close Enough Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jay.
Are we done?
No, we just started. You're not up for this?
I'm up. I was just hoping I could take a nap real quick.
Have a drink, you'll feel better.
That usually works. You see, Jay, I was looking up bowl parties. You know, the big game parties that people like to do. And some popular but unique drinks. And I came up with this one, which I'm a little nervous about. Because it involves tequila. And I don't do tequila very well.
I have to back you up a moment.
Yeah.
Bowl parties?
Bowl parties.
Is that like where everybody puts their keys in and they...
How many of those have you been to since 1976?
Let's see. Carry the one. None.
Okay, yeah, me neither. You know, like the Stupor Bowl.
I'm familiar with the Stupor Bowl.
Yeah, the big game parties.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is just one of those drinks that I've noticed are newer. I figure, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. This is a beer margarita.
A beer margarita?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good at all, man.
Well, we're going to find out in a minute. Anybody interested in making it? You're looking at getting a couple of lime wedges. So, take a lime, cut it up. 1/4 cup of coarse salt. 2 12-ounce bottles of whatever lager you feel like using. 1/2 cup frozen concentrated limeade. And 1/2 cup of chilled tequila. So you take the lime wedges, rim the edge of the cup, and then you put it in the salt. So you get that salt in the lip from, the normal margarita thing.
Yeah.
Take the rest, shake it all up in a pitcher. So it's concentrated limeade, tequila, and beer. And I can say probably not my favorite drink, but...
Take your shirt off, paint half of your chest blue.
That's probably the only people I can think of drinking this all the time, yeah.
Jump up and down on your back patio.
Go out naked in the snow, running around yelling my favorite football team's the best.
Go Piggers!
Yeah, da Bersh.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's our drink. You want to give it a shot?
I don't. I really don't.
All right, I won't make you. So what are you thinking this week?
Well, Mike, I've got to start this week with full disclosure. I am a New England Patriots fan.
Okay.
And I hope they win tomorrow. I do. Not because I give a shit about football. I really don't. I couldn't care less. I couldn't name a single Patriots player. As far as I'm concerned, Wayne Gretzky's going to be the greatest quarterback forever.
Greatest Gretzky Did you say quarterback?
Yes. That's the guy that throws the football. Don't read too much into this. No. They are my team. Not because I give a shit about them. They're my team because I'm a Connecticut Yankee. And it's nice to see something from my neck of the woods being mentioned. And, when they do well, I have this misguided feeling that it reflects well on me. Other than that, I don't care. But people care. They really fucking care about football. As we all know, last week there were allegations of cheating on behalf of the Patriots. The stupidly titled Deflategate alleges that the Patriots used underinflated balls. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard about this.
I got 3 points on that. First one, why does the NFL have the team supplying the balls? Why is one team in charge of supplying the ball? They couldn't find a referee to inflate a ball? Someone impartial?
No answer for you on that one. I heard about this. I'm on the same page as you. I don't understand the big deal about this.
Basically, I guess they were using footballs that were down like 1 or 2 psi. Which, my second point on that, underinflating a ball at 1 or 2 psi really isn't going to change it all that much. Aerodynamically, weight-wise. I guess if you had monster clamping hands, it would squish a slight amount more. But,
Well, that's the argument that I had heard, is that certain quarterbacks have a PSI that they're more comfortable with because the way it grips, and then apparently also it's easier to catch when it's slightly underinflated. I'm just telling you the things I've heard. I don't.
I'm going to go ahead and just say yes. I guess you're right. But that brings me to my third point. Both teams were on the field at the same time. If the ball throws better, catches better, wouldn't the other team also have a ball that throws better and catches better?
Well, maybe it's 1 PSI off of where the other quarterback wants it. I don't know, man. I'm trying to come up with something to defend.
I have no idea. It seems like if they're using the same equipment, if there was an advantage, both teams would have the advantage. And if there was a disadvantage, both teams would have the disadvantage. Unless, of course, each team provides their own balls, which would be even stupider. So, regardless of what happened last week, The Colts, you lost. Grow up. Go home to your mansions, cry into a pile of money, and then be happy that your job is to play a fucking game. And as for football fans, you grow up too. Get over it. Get a fucking life. Football fans always seem to be like, oh, we're the greatest fans in the world. You know, as I said earlier, they stand in the snow and they paint letters on their chest and they jump up and down and we're the greatest, and they hang out in a parking lot and roast hot dogs over half of a beer keg.
And they cover their toilet seats with football memorabilia, and no, they go to the extreme. That's one thing I've noticed, man. Football fans are, you walk in their house and you know what team they like.
Oh yeah. You don't even have to be in their house. Last apartment I was living in, the guys across the hall, downstairs, and on the other end of my building, they were Steelers fans. And I always knew when there was a Steelers game on. And I always knew when the Steelers did well. Because those aren't even words. But I'm hearing them. You know, other side of the building. I'm hearing these assholes yelling every Sunday.
Wait, were these the assholes that like have flags hanging off the side of their car when you're driving down the road?
Oh, yeah. They had flags. There was a Steeler Nation banner across the back of their car. There was a freaking metal sign in front of their, window. It's like, we live in an apartment. Get that shit out of here. But football fans seem to think that they are the greatest fans in the world of the greatest sport. And I think they're full of crap. I'm going to say there are better fans out there. And I'm going to say that those fans are rally fans.
Okay, explain.
Well, nobody in the world's better than rally fans. Now, rally, that is a man's sport. No underinflated balls there, I'll tell you.
What about tires?
Yeah, with the lower PSI, the more grip you get. But a lot of people go, oh, racing, that's a spectator sport. Yeah, you're not playing football. You're watching people play football, so that is also a spectator sport. Hang it in your ass. This weekend, the rally season opened up in Monte Carlo, in France. Sébastien Ogier won with a phenomenal effort. But on stage 10, Tanak, one of the other drivers, crashed his car off the course and pretty much rolled it down a hill. Immediately he was surrounded by 20 or 30 rally fans who pretty much carried his car back to the track.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Rally fans have always been the best. A car rolls over, the first guy on scene is always a fan, just because of the nature of the track. I've seen rally fans dive into a lake to lift a car out of it so the driver could escape. Rally fans are above and beyond any sport I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, I was going to say you said they're the first on site. I thought half the reason was probably because they're the ones that got hit by the car as it went off the track.
It happens occasionally. We're not in the 80s anymore, but, yeah, they line the side of the road. Oftentimes a fan is the first one there, and they're often running towards the car before it's even rolled to a stop. They'll get it back on its wheels, they'll get them back on the track, and they'll get them back going before the drivers even know what happened.
Now, are they out there half naked with their body painted their colors of the car?
No. Oftentimes they'll carry a flag.
Of the car?
Generally of the country that the driver represents.
Oh, okay.
And they'll be drinking.
Well, most sports you kind of need to drink to...
Drinking makes almost every sport better.
Yep. Well, I mean, while you're at it, drinking helps enhance the entertainment value of Close Enough Podcast as well.
Well, it certainly enhances the entertainment value of Mike.
Yeah, I'm not quite as dumb. It depends. I got the levels to work out in there still.
Keep drinking that margarita.
No, I think...
Beer-arita.
Ugh, okay. Yeah.
What was it called?
Beer margarita?
The beer margarita? That's not a very good name.
No.
But I suppose a person who's drinking a beer margarita didn't stop to think.
How can we make something worse? Tequila and beer.
Who's paying for this today?
Your Close Enough Podcast is brought to you by Close Enough Podcast.
Buy Mike a drink.
Please. If he sees you in public, he might give you a hug.
Well, we all know what comes next.
Movie review time.
Yes, that's right. It is the movie review time. Now, if you were with us last week, you'd know that we are watching Necessary Roughness. If you weren't with us last week, we're watching Necessary Roughness. If you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and pause the podcast, go watch that movie, come back, and then you'll know what we're talking about. Because, as usual, we're going to spoil the hell out of it.
I don't know if this movie's really much to concern yourself with getting spoiled.
This is a 90s sports comedy. Texas State University's The Fighting Dillos, must form a football team from their actual student body without any scholarships or dirty money. So they bring in an old coach and throw together a makeshift team that must overcome obstacles and face the best teams in the county.
In the state, you mean?
face the best teams in the state. The coach goes and finds an old school... I'm going to get a drink. Do the podcast without me.
Okay, how we doing, everybody? While you're at it, you want to refill my burrito? Oh, Jesus.
All right, I'm ready now.
Let's try this again.
Yes. This week we watched Necessary Roughness, a 90s sports comedy that follows the Texas State University fighting armadillos as they try to form a football team from the actual student body. No scholarships or anything. With fewer players than most teams, the makeshift team must overcome obstacles that the best teams in the country wouldn't have to deal with. They use a 34-year-old quarterback, a female place kicker, and a gang of misfits. Necessary Roughness is your typical zero-to-hero sports comedy. That'll do. So, Mike, what did you think of Necessary Roughness?
I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. I mean, your last phrasing there was perfect. A typical zero-to-hero kind of deal. In this one, they didn't win any championship, but they at least were able to win their game, which is what their main goal was to get somewhere and do something proactive in that sense. I mean, it really wasn't a bad movie. It was very, very typical. Not for nothing, but if you listen to last week's podcast, we called out more than half of what actually happened in the movie, making jokes about the movie before we even watched it.
We really did. It did follow a formula.
Very much so. There was the zero to hero, somebody falls in love, out of love kind of thing, back into love with somebody kind of deal. There's always the bad guy trying to take them under.
The coach, missing the final game. Win one for the Gipper.
Yeah, of course. The guy that they're all looking up to can't be there.
Yeah, I mean, this movie definitely followed a script, somebody else's script, as they went along. I mean, even the cover of the movie is a complete knockoff of Major League.
Yeah, not quite as funny, though.
No, I mean, so that was the thing. My biggest problem with the film is you couldn't decide what it was. I mean, is this going to be a feel-good story about a bunch of misfits overcoming adversity? Or was it going to be a slapstick comedy?
The slapstick was kind of kept to a minimum.
But it was there.
It was there, but not as much as I actually had anticipated.
It was non-committal. It was just the tip.
Yeah, it's just the tip's bit of a tease.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, don't blow on my clip. Not to say anything terrible about it, but my first thoughts watching this movie is, well, this is definitely a 90s movie.
Oh, yeah.
It had that look, it had that feel. Then you had Coach not Dave Foley and not Rodney Dangerfield.
Coach not Rodney Dangerfield, not Dave Foley.
Yeah, they look like him, but they weren't.
Yeah, alright, I'll give you that. Any other lookalikes in this?
Well, you had not Indiana Jones as the quarterback.
Come on, man, you know who that guy is, don't you?
He looks familiar. I think I saw him in Indiana Jones.
No?
So he was not Indiana Jones. That is what I have written on my notes, that he is not Indiana Jones.
Scott Bakula? No? That doesn't ring a bell?
No, he does seem vaguely familiar to me. I mean, a lot of them seem vaguely familiar as people who were B actors 30 years ago, yeah.
Well, okay, at least with him, I mean, first thing I noticed, he's the guy from Quantum Leap. I loved that show back in the day.
Quantum Leap.
Did you ever get to watch that?
No, I can't say that I have.
They find a way to kind of travel through time, but it doesn't quite pinpoint it the way they want it to, and so he gets stuck as another person in different points in time, and has to correct the wrongdoing that happens to that person. As soon as he does, he jumps to another leap of time. Same thing happens over and over again. So each week or every 2 weeks, sometimes, depending on how long the storyline is, he is a different person. So like sometimes he'll come out and he's a woman, or he's a 6'4" black guy or whatever it is. And whatever adversity that they're going through in their life, he has to try to change what negative is happening to them, or sometimes even has to actually save their lives. It's a good show. Back in
Sounds way better than this movie was.
Late 80s, early 90s. Another big thing for me, I just started laughing when they showed Sinbad.
Sinbad.
I didn't even know. Did you recognize him immediately?
I knew he was coming because I saw his name at the beginning of the movie. But
Honestly, I didn't even pay attention that close.
This is a guy who just... Where the hell has he been for 20 years?
I don't know. Last I heard, he is still doing stand-up at random.
He must be doing stand-up at random, like at the bank or men's room somewhere.
I've heard he's gone on some slightly smaller tours doing his stand-up with other names. Other than that, though, I have no idea. I don't remember the last time I saw him in a movie. It's definitely been a while.
It's kind of sad that the only person who's in this movie who's really still doing anything is Rob Schneider.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to bring him up soon, too. That was... That obviously, that was still during his SNL days, it seemed.
Yeah.
Time frame-wise. Yeah. And he started that little, Micah Ruha kind of thing in the one scene. I was like, yeah... That's definitely the 90s there for him.
The thing is, watching Rob Schneider, his scenes, it kind of made me sad, actually. Because you notice you never see him with anybody else. He's always up in the booth.
Yeah.
So that means that, when they were filming those scenes, they probably did them all in 1 or 2 days, and there was just the only guy on roll call, and he just sat at a desk talking for 2 days.
You definitely looked at it in a different perspective than I did.
Well, I had to keep my mind occupied somehow. The movie certainly wasn't fucking doing it.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I mean, it was, like I said, I couldn't figure out whether it was funny or whether it was a feel-good comedy or whether it was... I mean, there were a couple things in there that, made me laugh. The referee doing the karate moves.
Yeah.
I giggled at that, I'm not going to lie. For the most part, though, I watched the movie and the time passed. I watched it and pretty much knew what was coming up next.
Yeah, it was extremely predictable.
One of the only other actors that I saw in this movie that I still see places is, I don't know his name, but the Dean.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
He plays, I see him in all kinds of movies, and he's always the Dean, or the principal, or the girl's father.
Larry Miller. Yeah, he's, actually, one of my all-time favorite movies, 10 Things I Hate About You. He's the dad in that movie.
The girl's dad?
The girl's dad.
He's always the girl's dad.
Yep. But he's got a unique sense of the way he holds the screen. If you notice, the way every time you come in or out of the room, and he's there, he presents himself the same way in all his movies, but he grabs the scene.
I think I call it slapstick righteousness, where he's I'm going to do the right thing. I'm the guy. And he takes himself a lot more seriously, way more seriously than other people take him, and it amuses me.
Yeah.
I saw him in a film called Max Keebler's Big Move.
I saw that, but I do not remember it.
It was a Disney film or one of those kid films. It was a throwaway movie. Actually quite amusing, but he played the principal in that, and he's interrogating a 10-year-old student, points a little model cannon at him. This is one of those things that he took it way seriously, but everybody else just looks at him with an eyebrow raised.
It was another big name that I had noticed that I wasn't sure if you recognize him or you even know who he is. Jason Bateman.
No clue.
Trying to think of what I know for a fact. You've seen Dodgeball?
I've seen Dodgeball, yeah.
He was the stoner-sounding announcer, much older now. He's been in a lot
That's a bold strategy, Cut. Let's see how that works out for her.
Yep, that guy.
Huh.
But have you seen Arrested Development?
Nope.
Great show. I don't know if you've ever watched it or not. You need to sit down and watch it.
I saw him in something.
You need to sit down and watch. I'll give you I've got the box set. Anyways,
Hancock.
Yeah.
I knew I'd just fucking seen him in something.
Yeah, he was in Hancock. But Arrested Development, if you want to borrow it, I've got the box set. You can watch it. It's a fantastic show.
It's on Netflix, and I've been avoiding it because people keep telling me, oh, you need to watch it. I don't fucking want to.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Mainly because I'd like to have some free time.
But thought I'd throw that out there. Jason Bateman is definitely one of my more current favorite actors. Some of the things he's done
else too. He was Hancock, and he was. So
it was kind of funny to see him that young.
Unless I didn't think about that until you mentioned it now.
Unless you've seen.
Was he in Smoking Aces?
That's right. He was. He was in Smoking Aces.
That's what I fucking seen him in.
He was the cop.
And the doctor in Invention of Lying.
Yes.
Yes.
Those are all some good movies, actually.
They're all good movies. Invention of Lying was great.
Teen Wolf 2. So he played Michael J. Fox's part in the second one. That was the only other thing I ever noticed where he was younger. Everything seems to be, in the last 10, 15 years. But that was really strange to see him, such that baby face that he has in this movie.
You got, now, Coach Not Dave Foley I've seen in things, too.
Yes, I can't
I
think
can't,
of...
like, he's a face that I've seen before, and I can't place him.
I can't think of what either.
Monk?
Yes, he is in Monk.
Dr. Nevin Bell?
I watch a lot of Monk. He is in Monk. One thing I wanted to bring up with this movie that I noticed, really just a difference, I'm guessing, in, time. From the time period of when this movie takes place till now, it's not as big of a deal. But it was such a big deal all of a sudden that there's an older guy going to school who's not a teacher. Or, the older guy playing football. Nowadays, you see older people, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all going to college.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, I guess, back in the 80s and, early 90s, you didn't see that very often. So that was just something I had noticed, that they made such a big deal out of him going to classes and everything.
Well, I mean, the thing that kind of bugged me, it's always this old man, he's 34 years old. I'm almost 34 years old.
I turned 32 in like 3 weeks.
I know, dude. That blows.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not even going to school and playing football.
So that's the thing. I mean, this guy is like, oh, he's got a farm, and now he's the old man on campus. And I don't know, it just made me feel old.
Yeah, a little bit.
Speaking of campus, this is in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a Karate Kid, and we've got a Samoan guy.
I wanted to bring him up real quick.
Favorite character in the movie.
By far.
Oh, yeah.
On top of that, I've always wanted a Samoan friend.
Everyone wants a Samoan friend.
He's awesome. I don't know what it is about big Samoan dudes. You always see him in movies. I'm always like, man, I want one as a best friend.
I like the joke, on the run to the litter.
Yes.
My family are big. I've only seen one Samoan guy who wasn't fucking huge.
Where was this?
The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Dwight Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, I don't know what it is about, American Samoans, but they're the only ones that can be fucking huge and nobody looks at them like fat people.
Yeah. It's like you expect them to be big guys.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of Sammo Hung. He was the big guy in all of the Jackie Chan films.
Oh, Sam. Yeah. He had his own TV show for a while.
Did he?
Yeah. No, it didn't last very long, but he was came over here, American cop, and doing his kung fu thing with it.
It was a martial arts movie I saw called SPL Killzone, where Sammo Hung's the bad guy. It's just like, okay.
Interesting.
Great fucking movie, by the way. Donnie Yen film. It's fantastic. Now, I want to get back to the Dean real quick. There's something I understand why they did it, but it sort of pissed me off, because, where he's the bad guy, and, he's out to ruin everything, and they just turned him into this Weasley bastard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's got a good point, and I agree with him. This is a college. This is an institution of learning. And he's upset that football has become the driving thing, which is a really valid point. And then the film just lampoons him like a fucking asshat the entire time with his silly little plans. And then at the end they just fire him, and they don't ever really give him a reason. I don't know why they fired him. I don't think you can get fired for being a douche.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Just at the end of the film, it's like, yay, we won the game, ha ha ha, you're fired. Like, what the hell was that all about?
I was wondering that, actually, if there was a specific thing that one of the tricks or whatever that he was trying to pull on the team to get them in trouble, if something he did was illegal, and maybe we just didn't notice it or something.
No, I mean, the teacher threatened to take him to the academic review board for regrading the tests, but, they never specified why. I guess it was just like an afterthought, like the director's like, oh, we didn't tie up this loose end. Oh, fire him while he's laying on the ground. And I just thought it was kind of, shitty the way that they made the one guy who's got a real point in the movie, they turned him into this comedic buffoon, antagonist. Yeah, when he brings the prisoners out to do and apparently this was pointed out to me, I didn't notice. Apparently every one of the prisoners was some football Hall of Famer. Yeah,
I recognized a couple of them.
The other one I recognized was Evander Holyfield, the only one who's not a football player.
Interesting. I didn't notice him.
Yeah, you probably didn't recognize Holyfield because he had his entire ear.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
If you bite half the ear off, you would have recognized him.
Okay. I recognized a handful of the guys when I was growing up. My brother always watched football. So, what else am I going to do? There's one TV in the house. I saw a lot of football when I was a kid.
That's a shame.
Still never...
Do you understand the game?
Yeah, I understand it. I just don't get into it.
When I was in high school, I took a TV production class as a senior. I was in charge of the team that filmed the Friday night football games. I got to take the camera equipment home, bring it back to school on Friday night, film the games, and then bring the equipment back on Monday, which was nice because I had, $10,000 worth of high-end video equipment in my $300 car for the weekend. So I watched every football game we played for an entire year. I have no idea how the game works.
Really?
No idea. They line up, they fall down, they get up, they touch each other's butts, they line up again.
I can explain it to you. It's not really worth my time and effort, but I could.
As near as I can figure, they got 4 tries to move the ball a certain amount of distance. If they do it, they get to start over. If they get the ball into the end, they get a certain number of points, and then they can run it into the end or they can kick it through the big Y.
Something like that.
And then they fall down and they grab each other's butts.
There's a lot of little rules with it, too. But
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, football was over a long time ago, and Germany won.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So, bringing this review to the closure, is there anything else you had noticed about the movie you want to bring up?
When I was looking into the movie, I was looking on IMDb, just checking out who was in it, and I noticed at the bottom of the page there were plot keywords. Now, a lot of movies have these, and so if you're looking for movies about certain things, you can find them. They're keywords. The keywords for this film included Texas,
Okay.
football,
Okay.
reference to Edward Scissorhands.
Why?
Because they mentioned Edward Scissorhands once in the film. Reference to Jiminy Cricket.
What?
And the phrase, kicked in the groin.
Okay.
If that's the high point of this movie.
That explains a lot. Kicked in the... Jiminy Cricket, what the fuck?
Jiminy Cricket, it was at the end when the kid was coming back to the farm with him in the Jeep, and he says, "Oh, now I've picked up Jiminy Cricket."
Oh.
Pinocchio's conscience.
That's right, I forgot about... Wow, really? They take that one scene...
Yeah,
and
reference to Jiminy Cricket is the 4th point after Edward Scissorhands.
That's crazy.
I mean, the film followed very, very formulaic. You had, a football team goes out to party and they get into a fight with Stan from American Dad, and then, the one guy ends up in the hospital with what turns out to be indigestion. Win one for the Gipper comes the team, and they go out and they beat the number 1 ranked team and with a gimmick play, and Kathy Ireland was apparently very hot.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
I mean, yeah, sure she was, but I actually missed those times.
What, jerking off to Kathy Ireland?
I've never jerked off to Kathy Ireland yet.
Then what times are you referring to?
The times that people like Kathy Ireland were considered attractive, and not Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton and Ashley Simpson or Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson's hot.
Jessica Simpson's not hot, she's blonde. That precludes being hot. Like, that takes you off the list.
Katy Perry's hot.
I mean, I wouldn't kick her out of bed, that's not what I'm saying, but...
I don't think there's many people you would kick out of bed.
Blondes, mostly.
Huh.
Alright, so are we done with this?
I think we are. Alright, Jay, so give me your final synopsis, your final numbers on this movie.
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Necessary Roughness. There's 2 things wrong with that title. We're going to call it a 3.
2 things wrong with the title.
It wasn't necessary, and it didn't seem all that rough.
Alright, I'll go with the benefit of the doubt on this one as far as my final score, because I apparently didn't quite hate it just as much as you did, but I still wouldn't put it in my need to rewatch category. I'm going to give her a 5. So we got a 3 and a 5. If you like our scores, you know where we stand.
Why don't you hit the comments and let us know where you stand?
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. All right, so Jay, what are we looking for?
I don't know. Let's drag the trash can over and see what's in here. Got a couple new suggestions in here. Let's see what we have. Okay, we're watching The Interview next week. A lot of noise has been made about this film the past couple of weeks. It looks like we're going to be watching it.
I was going to say, the last month it's been talked about almost non-stop everywhere.
Well, I guess it's just hit Netflix, and it's already been suggested. So next week we're going to watch The Interview. So if you haven't seen it already, head on over to Netflix and watch The Interview. Come meet us here next week and see what we think about it.
With spoilers.
Oh yeah, we'll be spoiling the shit out of it, so
watch the damn movie. But Jay, you know what time it is.
It is, looks like about 8 o'clock.
You made that joke one other time.
Did I now? Was it funny then?
No.
Well, we'll try it again, see if we get laughs this time.
All right. I'm not laughing.
It's time to make the donuts.
Donuts?
It's clobbering time.
That one works.
Okay.
It is quiz time. I like quiz time right now. I'm feeling very, very confident for once to get you back from last week. I had a good topic to work with.
What do I have to beat?
I got 1.
Okay.
So you have to get more than 1.
About football?
Yes. I tried to not be too mean.
Well, I tried to not be too mean on the RPG one, and you got like 8 of them, so...
Yeah. You got me the troll one. I got 1.
Which you guessed.
So...
You thought Germany was a Nordic country.
I did not think that. I just couldn't think of another country.
You did think it. I've got it on tape.
I know I said it. It doesn't mean I really think that Germany's a Nordic country. Jesus Christ.
All right, and that was the quiz. We're going to move on to news.
No.
What?
No.
No?
No. I haven't even started it yet.
Oh, I thought I was already done.
So you have 2 options. You can take my 10-question quiz here, or I have 1 question. If you don't get all of it, I have to give you the quiz.
Okay, so you're telling me I got a shot at avoiding the quiz by answering 1 question?
Correct.
What happens if I get that question wrong?
If you get it wrong, you still have to take the quiz.
Oh, well then, is this just an extra opportunity to laugh at me not knowing something?
Sort of.
All right, well, let's do it.
All right, name of this quiz is, let's see, Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues?
Yes.
Isn't that Dawson's Creek movie?
Yeah. Shit. Let's get
You're not
that
going to upstage me, Vanderbeek.
guy and, yep, that one. All right, fine. The name of this quiz is Superb Owl Facts.
I see what you've done there.
You like it?
I do.
Okay.
Superb owl.
All right, so here's your 1 question that if you can answer this entirely,
Great horned owl.
you do not have to take the quiz. This year, the Super Bowl is being aired in 180 countries worldwide. Can you name all 180 countries?
United States, Canada, Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to try 180 countries?
Yeah. Peru, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait.
I really didn't think you were going to even go for it.
I called your fucking bluff. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
No, god damn it, now I can't find it. Shit. Are you kidding me?
Russia, Ukraine.
I just can't believe you're still trying this.
Japan, China, the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, Madagascar, South Africa. Did I say Peru? Brazil? Probably all of the real ones. Let's go with the Nordic countries. Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, Greenland. Did I say Scotland? I believe I did. Luxembourg, Germany, Belgium, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Egypt, People's Republic of China, South Korea, Vietnam, Guam.
Are we really going to continue this, or can I just give you the quiz?
Alright, Colombia. Panama country?
Well, there's the Panama Canal.
Yeah, well, the canal. I think it's a country.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether it's a country or part of a country. Puerto Rico's a territory. Does that count?
Oh, okay.
Dominican Republic, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Switzerland?
I think you said that.
No, I said Sweden.
Yes, you did. I thought you said Switzerland already. Because you've already named 50 at this point. I don't even know if either of us are going to be able to recall what you've already said and what you haven't.
Okay, United States, Mexico.
All right, we're done. Let's get to the damn quiz. That's just too much. I can't believe I let you continue on that long with it.
Don't ask me questions you're not supposed to answer. If you ask me a question that you don't want an answer to, expect an answer you don't want to hear.
Okay, back to Superb Owl Facts.
Fine, superb owl facts.
Are you ready for this?
No, I'm still doing countries.
Write them down, give me a list, we'll see what happens later.
Yeah, I'm going to do the thing to avoid answering the quiz after I do the quiz.
You're not going to get 180 countries.
I'll totally get 180 questions. I will get 180 countries.
Without using your computer?
Without using my computer. I'll use that computer.
No
I'll call
computers.
somebody.
No computers, no phone calls, no nothing.
180 fucking countries.
Alright, you ready for the quiz?
Alright, Dipstick, tell me about owls.
Superb Owl Fact.
Okay.
Who's there?
Owls.
Owls? Who?
Yes, they do.
Yes, yeah. Alright.
Come on, that's good. It's cute.
Alright, Superb Owl Facts. That's just the name of it, by the way. This really is actually about football.
That's too bad. If it was about owls, I might have a chance.
Yeah.
I love owls.
I do too.
I went to a raptor rehabilitation center in Connecticut, and there was a great horned owl in a cage in the center. And I'd always heard that an owl can rotate its head almost 360 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they actually don't, but when you get behind them, they do the quick transition.
Yeah.
So I started circling the cage slowly, and it was tracking me. And when I got around behind it, I'm like, all right, it's going to do the switch. And it didn't do it rapidly. It, closed its eyes with this, seriously? look at its face, and then slowly swiveled its head all the way around to look at me on the other side like he's doing the thing. It was awesome.
That's great.
It was.
Okay.
All right, well, that was a great quiz. We're moving on to news.
Question 1. What quarterback led the Buffalo Bills to the big game 4 years in a row?
Jerry Rice.
No, Jim Kelly. Question 2. The American Professional Football Association was formed in what year, which 2 years later became the NFL?
1916.
No, 1920. Who is the only person to have played in both the Super Bowl and the World Series?
Michael Jordan.
No, Deion Sanders.
I knew that, actually.
Did you?
Yes, I knew that he was a baseball player. I didn't know he ever made it to the...
Yep, he's been in both Super Bowl and World Series.
He was a 49er, wasn't he?
Yeah. Let's see. What team is rated the highest valued team in the NFL as far as money goes?
Dallas Cowboys?
Yes, that's correct. We got one right.
I heard one of their players was arrested for failure to possess cocaine.
For failure to possess cocaine?
That's a little joke.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, Question 5. What year was the first actual Super Bowl? And you will get a bonus point if you can tell me the date.
Fuck you. 1924.
That is 1967.
Should have known that, because isn't there a number attached to it?
Every year is a number.
Yeah, but it's in Roman numerals.
That is correct.
Same as movie copyrights.
What team won the first Super Bowl?
Deion Sanders.
I said what team?
Washington Redskins.
Green Bay Packers.
The Fudge Packers.
Yeah.
I think of all the football teams, I think I hate them the most.
They actually won the first and the second Super Bowls ever.
And they've never won a Super Bowl since.
That's not true. But anyways.
With the exception of maybe the Steelers, I think I hate them the most.
How many times have the Patriots been to the Super Bowl?
Been there? 6?
7.
Ooh.
Off
Are you
by
counting
1
this
year.
time?
Nope, this year's 8. You're off by 1.
That's too bad. They're, quotes, my team, unquote.
Yeah. All right, how much will companies have to pay this year for a 30-second slot of commercial time?
$30 million.
How much?
30?
No. It's not that high. $4 million for 30 seconds, $8 million for a minute. All right, question 9. You ready?
Yeah.
How many of the past 47 Super Bowl coin flips have been heads and how many have been tails?
The way that's worded is strange. How many times did it stick into the ground on its side?
Never that I've heard about.
How many were there total then?
47.
I'm going to go with 31 heads.
That is incorrect. It is actually 24 heads, 23 tails. Almost a straight 50-50.
Well, that's why they use a coin flip.
Yeah. And last question. Who was the first player to say, I'm going to Disney World after winning a Super Bowl?
Joe Montana.
Wrong. That is Phil Simms. So there you go. 10 questions from Superb Owl Facts for Jay. We got one right, which means that you and I are now tied.
And now we know what I don't know about football, which I'm not ashamed of, I have to say. Not ashamed at all. And Mike's going to let us know what he knows about what happened this stupid week.
All right, first story I've got this week. Have you heard about a zombie cat?
Zombie cat.
Yes.
Meow, meow.
The cat's name is Bart. Is now
Blart?
Bart.
With 2 A's?
B-A-R-T.
Oh, that's just Bart.
Bart?
No, just Bart. If it had 2 A's, it'd be Bart.
This cat was actually found unresponsive by his owner last week, lying in a pool of blood, having been hit by a car.
Oh.
The owner went ahead, gave it a burial in his backyard. 5 days later, the cat was found roaming in a different neighbor's yard. Walking around. It has dug itself out of the ground, out of its supposedly being buried alive, I guess you could say. It is now survived all of this and still living. It's got some injuries. I believe they had to take out his left eye for one of them, but this cat's still alive, walking around doing its thing.
That's simultaneously awesome and terrifying. I mean, I've lost a pet before. I've lost a cat before, and
it's hard.
It was rough.
Yeah, that was
You remember Random?
Yeah, I remember Random. I know you didn't like her, but Tisha, that was my baby girl, man. I miss Morticia, man. I had to.
Tisha and Random got along.
Yeah, they did. They were cute. All right, my next story is Comcast apologizes for after customer's bill shows up with the name as asshole on the bill.
That's fantastic.
The only part of the story you can really get, Lisa Brown, who was the wife of Richard Brown, called and canceled their Comcast service, and apparently did have some issues with the customer service on the phone, which, from what I've been reading, is rather common.
With companies like that, I don't know if Comcast is one, but with a lot of companies like that, the employee, the way it works is you don't get paid for what you do. You get a chunk of pay for, say, for a month, you get $5,000. That's what they're going to pay you. And then if people, when people call in and complain, or you have to send out service, or every time you do something like that, they deduct from your pay. So
that's horrible.
Yeah, I'd have to really look into it, but I do recall hearing stories. I guess recently a man was trying to cancel his cable service, and they were giving him so much crap, but the guy was like the president of some tech magazine or something, and he was recording it, and it turned into this big deal. But Comcast and companies like that specifically tell their people when they're trying to cancel their service to dick them around. Well, I'm sorry, they don't specifically say it, but the way that the pay structure is set up, it's in the employee's best interest to dick them around and get them to hang up instead of
canceling their plan.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's the point, is just to make it as hard as possible to get out of your contract.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to the next story here. Jesus. In Japan, a college girl murdered a senior citizen with an axe because she, quote-unquote, just wanted to kill someone. This 19-year-old Japanese girl, who I guess there is actually still considered to be a minor, they will not release her name.
What an asshole.
Went ahead and killed some senior citizen, this older lady who they had met, actually, because she was trying to recruit her for a religious group. Hunted her down and killed her with an axe, and then she realized that the old lady was not dead yet, so took her scarf and strangled her until she died.
Well, if a full disclosure here, I've threatened door-to-door religious people with an axe recently.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking this woman was a bitch right up until that point, and she's still a bitch, but
not as bad as you were thinking. You have a little bit more respect for her, maybe?
I don't have any respect for her, but I can't condone what she's done, but I certainly understand it.
Yeah. All right, next one here, I've got Dish Network. You've heard of this company, right?
I'm familiar with Dish Network.
Yeah.
They're the ones that drills holes in the side of your house and then refuse to take the thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they are letting subscribers skip the big game and watch just the commercials. What this is, they actually came up with a technology which I'm guessing a lot of companies are doing now, where you can skip the commercials to watch your show. Obviously, this has to be after it's aired. Well, they're doing now the exact opposite for the Super Bowl, where after it's aired, you can go back and watch the game, watch the commercials without the game interrupting your commercial breaks.
So you can skim over the game and go straight to the commercials?
Yes.
Have these people never heard of YouTube?
Yes, and this is called reverse auto hop, by the way.
Reverse auto hop.
Yeah.
Sounds like a sex position.
Was that in a car? Screwing you somewhere comfortable like the backseat of a Volkswagen?
Moving on.
All right, moving on. My last one here. A Florida couple actually took place right here in Orlando. Have you ever heard of Patty Murphy's?
Patty Murphy. No, I can't say that I have.
I haven't heard of, or I've never been there. I've heard of it before. This couple apparently was having sex atop a restaurant table.
Nice.
While the restaurant was open.
Okay.
With patrons around and little kids to witness.
Oh, okay.
When asked to stop, the guy actually replied, "She can't get up right now." So I'm assuming she was sitting on his dick while they asked them to stop. The owner came over, told them they need to compose themselves, pay their bill, and leave. When the bill was dropped off, the guy actually wrote the word "no" on it. They got up and started walking out.
Does that work?
Apparently not.
Because I've just been paying them.
No, apparently not, because they actually were able to stop them and hold them there till the cops showed up. When the cops showed up, the only thing they actually got in trouble for was trying to skip on the bill. They were not able to be charged with the public lascivious acts that were going on because the parents and children that were there did not want to sign a statement.
Nobody wanted to sign a statement.
Nobody wanted to sign a statement in regards to what they were actually doing in public. So no charges on that, just for trying to run out on your bill. That's I can't say too much. I mean, who doesn't want to get experimental and fun places and do weird things as far as sex goes, but you're not a big public place person?
Oh, just one time at Chuck E. Cheese, but...
I've had a handful of some public places, but it, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's just the fact of whether or not I'm going to get caught at something. But right there in daylight, children around, like, what possessed them to just be like, let's get this shit rolling like this? I mean...
I don't know, man.
Some crazy fucking shit going on in this place, and of course that one is in Florida.
Why is it always Florida?
So that's what I got this week for my news stories. I see you got something open there, Jay.
I do. So we all know this weekend the Super Bowl is going on, and that pretty much means that nothing else is going on, unless you live in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis?
It's a city in Minnesota.
Yes, I know where it is. I've actually been there before.
Yes.
What the fuck is going on in Minneapolis?
The Stupor Bowl.
I thought that was just a really stupid name to call the Super Bowl.
So did I, until I looked it up. The Stupor Bowl is the drunkest bike race in the world.
Drunkest bike race in the world?
Yes.
Okay.
366 riders are registered for the 17th running of the Stupor Bowl in Minneapolis, Minnesota this weekend.
Wait, so they've done this 17 times now?
Yes, and it's a hit.
Is there a pun in that?
No. Is there a pun in it?
A little bit.
All
right. So explain to me what it is they're doing.
Basically, it's a cross-city open-road bike race fueled by camaraderie and beer.
I like beer.
And I like camaraderie. And people basically turn up in by the hundreds to race their bikes across the snowy city in February. And I've got to say that is way better than watching a bunch of men grab each other's asses and fall into a pile. Kudos to you, Minnesota.
Yeah. It's one of the only reasons I could ever think of to want to go back.
The Close Enough Radio Podcast is brought to you by the Close Enough Radio Podcast. Remember, when you support our sponsors, you support us. So when you're done listening to us, listen to us again. Our audio technician is not here today. We really want to hear from you. Send us your questions, comments, concerns, outright insults, and music and movie suggestions to closeenoughradio@gmail.com or visit us on our Facebook fan page, Close Enough Radio. Now over to Mike for this week's local band.
This week's local band is an Orlando-based industrial black metal band called Forever Dawn, and here's their song, Final Stand.